Hello, my loves, and welcome to the Carter Love Talk Show. It is your host, Deshae Carter. Today's episode is about authenticity. Oh my gosh, y'all know I was struggling with this word earlier on the live. Authentic brands win. We are here with our friend. He says my friends call me Callie, but wow, hold on, back over here. I blame my children for that one. Anyways, um, so we are here to talk about how you can increase your power by being yourself. And we're going to dive deeper into that and we will introduce our guests. But first, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time we post a video
Bing.
here on the Carter Love Network. Hello, Callie.
What's going on, Deshae? Thank you for always. Always feel honored anytime I am given the opportunity to be on this platform. So thank you for creating space for us dreamers, us creatives, us crazy individuals that just use
Yes.
these gifts to help people.
Love it. I love it. So, the flyer, the banner, the thumbnail that you're going to see calls this man Yamani. Um, but we know him here on the Carter Love Network as Callie. He is one of the co-hosts for the Carter Love Talk Show After Hours. He kind of skipped this step. So we're gonna rewind it back, okay? Because he does great things in the community that we want to share here so we can get a closer look into who Callie is and what he does. And so we're going to dive a little bit into what you do for the community.
Um, yeah, I'm your neighborhood hope dealer, if you will. I get the amazing opportunity to be a person that helps people through various forms. Sometimes it's through Color the Block. Shout out to Color the Block. It's a community based organization that focuses on agriculture and youth development. But we're in the trenches helping people. Sometimes that's giving out trees. Sometimes that's, getting your aunties and uncles into the garden to get them, acclimated to the soil. Sometimes it's delivering food to families in need. And so, that's one way. I also get the opportunity to do digital literacy, of course, through that. And so it's one of my fun things that I get to do where I get to be in the room with grandpa and grandma and show them that the computer is not that scary. Show them that they can get on YouTube too. They can get on Google and be able to do the things that they need to do. Um, Sometimes it's through just infecting people through the faith that I believe in. And so I work with youth groups, whether it's coordinated experiences with Christian hip hop artists or just be creating a safe space for our youth to get positive influences. And then I know this is for the community, but I also believe that the work that you do inside your home can affect the community. And so I get the honor of being an amazing father and do my best to, impart as much positive wisdom and, hopefully teach them things that I kind of butt my head on. So when they go out into the world, they're a positive value to their community and the world that we're in. And so, yeah, that's just, I guess, a glimpse of, some of the things I get to
Yes, we love it. We love it. We love it. So here on the Carter Love Talk Show, we like to dive a little bit into how I met the guests. Um, Callie is actually one of the very few guests that I've actually met in person.
Come on now. You be using this social media, this internet era to connect the dots. So it's dope when you can
Listen,
actually be in the same space.
listen, because prior to now, if you guys have been watching my the mini series here on the Car Love Network, I wasn't driving before now. Stay at home mom, wasn't driving. I had to be connected, okay, to the world. So I most of the guests, there's been over 20 guests on this through this interview, and I
You be
have
cooking.
I have not met a lot of them. Not in person, but we've developed a relationship online through communication, through conversation. Y'all know I love a voice message. A voice
Voice message queen.
call it.
Facts.
Because you need to hear my tone and my
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
Um, so So yeah, so Callie, I actually met Callie. I was hosting a networking event with um oh my gosh. Oh, Capital Creatives in Sacramento, California. And the founder of Capital Creatives actually invited Callie. I think they had met that same day, right? You and
Yeah,
Aaron?
yeah,
They met
yeah.
that same day. He invited him to the event, and then I met Callie there. And so after that, we had, decided to work together, and then it's just been a history ever since.
Come on now, been locked in, and really, can I tell them? Can I tell them? For those who don't know, my faith, what I'm saying, guides a lot of what I do, and so the Bible talks about your gift will open up doors for you. And so, in addition to being at this networking event, one of the first interactions I had with Deshay, she was like, "Hey, I have a gift for you," and she gave me this body scrub, this like cocoa, kind of like, oh my goodness, the body scrub. Lock
Brown
me in, lock
sugar,
me
sea
in.
salt,
Come on. I was
with
walking around the
brown
house. My
sugar,
daughter was
hot
like,
coffee.
daughter was like, Dad, you smell like a cup of coffee. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, it was a great experience for sure. And here we are.
Yes, here we are. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's powerful, right? Because, like I said, I've only met a lot of these people online, so I'm just imagining, you know, the just from this interaction, the power of actually engaging with people in person.
Right, right.
Ooh. So we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling. Um, in my experience as a storyteller, like yourself, people don't know what that means. You
Come on.
know, like they see my work and they're like, "Yeah, girl, I want to work with you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a visual storyteller, commercial branding agent." And they're like, "What is that?" So, in your own words, can you tell us what a visual storyteller is? What is visual storytelling?
For sure, for sure. So let me start by saying this. Some people say money makes the world go round. Some people put all different things within that space of what makes the world go round. I believe stories make the world go round. And so I like to say visual storytellers are people who use content to be able to tell their story. And if I were to ask what really is storytelling, and if you were to kind of break it down and make it simple, what I would say is storytelling is how you communicate your why to your audience, your why for the service that you provide, or your why for the products that you create. But also, storytelling is what influences your audience's why for why they support you.
Mhm.
People sometimes, and most times, support brands that they're emotionally connected with, and they usually get that emotional connection through the story. So that would be my simple breakdown of visual storytelling and storytelling in general.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I usually don't read the comments, but one of our fellow co-hosts, I have to put it on the screen because I
I
laughed.
can't see the comments. Hold on. I try to pull them because I already knew tonight was gonna be cool.
Oh, that's hilarious.
There we
But
go.
I love that a lot because
Now he's on time today. Come on. Hey, you know what?
he
I
better
told him.
be.
Look, I told him when we was waiting. I was like, I feel so uncomfortable. I need to disappear for like 15 minutes and then come back.
No, okay. Not on this podcast, okay?
Right, right.
It's barely acceptable on after hours.
But see, that's the thing though. Who shows up on time for after hours? You're supposed to be late for the after hours. It's the after hours. I'm doing what I'm. Look, I'm holding it down. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
He said it's not natural.
Look, I'm on time for the 9 to 5, but for that 5 to 9, you go catch me when you catch me. Now,
I mean.
come on.
Okay, so I love that because I honestly, a lot of time people's why gets lost in their business. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
just after a while, it's like I need money, so I'm just keep going. You know what I mean?
100%.
Um,
Yeah.
the why gets lost, and I think that if you make it like not if you make it the forefront, but right, if you let that drive your marketing, if you let that drive like even like the way you design a flyer, like you know what I mean? If
Mhm.
you let that drive everything, as it drives you, it's like the story is being told as you're moving, but also people are connecting with that story.
Right, right, right.
So how can small business, like people who don't know how to do this stuff, how can they start storytelling?
Okay. Great question. So for individuals who are new to, I'm gonna say this, we're all storytellers in our
Exactly.
everyday life. We're all in everyday life, whether we realize it or not. It becomes way more important when you become a business owner because now your audience is looking to you to tell them why they should interact with you. So, as a business owner who is kind of new to storytelling within that space, start by going back to the basics. Why did you even start this business? Why are we here? And granted, I'm really glad that you brought up that point where sometimes people get lost in storytelling when they don't understand their foundation.
Yeah.
Granted, we all need money in some form. We all got bills to pay, people to take care of, things of that nature.
Yep.
But most times, that's not the reason why you started a business.
Exactly.
It's not the reason why you started a brand. A lot of times, people start brands because it solves a problem.
Hmm.
What was that problem? Whether that problem was personal or that problem is something that you saw and nobody else saw that it was a problem, or they saw the problem, but nobody else was thinking of a solution. So start at the beginning. Why are we even here? And I think once you can get the foundation of why you're doing what you do, then you can start to pick pieces of that and sharing it to the world. Um, I want to be intentional of answering this question because we're not all videographers, right? Just
Content
because,
creators in general.
right, we're not all content creators, even though we create content.
Hmm.
However, there's ways of finding your happy place, if you will, with doing the things that need to be done to get your story out. So, for example, if you're not a person who is big on being on camera and just sitting in front of your phone and talking to nobody but everybody is kind of throwing
Yeah.
you off, then maybe you write your story. You can create posts accompanied with pictures
Hmm.
and let your story be told through words. Maybe you're okay with speaking, you just don't want to be seen. Well, narrate your story. Find different pieces of content that can reflect parts of that story or illustrate it, if you will, and let your voice be the one that carries on. But in 2026, if that is hard for you, then search for tools that help you
Yeah.
storytell. For those who know me, they know me and AI go together real bad. My chat GBT is called Big Mama, and she is everything. I say, Big Mama, I need help, and she helps. And
Not
so
big
with
mama.
that be and so with that being said, for those who are open to the AI space, I would get real familiar with your AI
The big
companion.
mama.
With big, well, for me, it's Big Mama. You know what I'm saying? Big Mama come through every time. I love her. I love you, Big Mama. Um, but yeah, being able to sit down with either that AI companion or another creative that is already in that space and communicate what that looks like. Um, yeah, so those would be some of the things I would say. Start with the beginning. Why are we even here? Why are we even doing what
Yeah.
we're doing? And then find your happy place. If you're not big and being in front of the camera, then let's find ways of creating the content that takes you in a place that's more comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's I think people forget how powerful their why is. But
Hmm.
also every business is solving a problem. Those are like the three things I have my clients do. What's your why? I have them to go through a quiz. What's your why?
Hmm.
What problem are you solving? And who's your audience? We figure all that out so
Yeah.
we can push forward.
A hundred
It's
percent.
more important than people realize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's always deeper, right? Like you said, it's
Yeah.
deeper than money.
Yeah.
Money's gonna come regardless, right?
Yeah.
Deeper than that, though. It's
Yeah.
deeper than that.
I like to say money is the result of
Yes.
doing. You know what I'm saying? Once you do and you're especially working within your purpose, especially within the business, the money will show up because you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yep. Yep. So for those who are still kind of struggling to understand why storytelling is important or
Hmm.
necessary,
Yeah.
what would you tell those small business for brand building?
Whew, what I would say is storytelling is really everything. Storytelling is your identity, it's the DNA. Perfect example. You, a person three blocks down, and someone 20 minutes away from y'all all sell ice cream. You all have similar flavors. How can someone look at each and every one of you and see the difference? The difference is your story.
Exactly.
And your story not only is the foundation of why you do what you do, your story welcomes people into why they need to be a part of this. In storytelling and really exposing more of yourself within the boundaries of your business, you now can connect with your audience in more ways than one. Yeah, you create this product, but as people get to know you and as you start to share the things that you value and you're passionate about and how it connects, now people start to connect with your brand because they connect to the same things the same things you care about, they care about. The same things you're passionate about, they're passionate about. And now it's like, nah, even though my man Tim sells ice cream, I really believe in what Jim is doing. Jim has been showing me that he's really outside of the ice creams. He's a advocate for fatherhood and families and children and youth, and that's something that's important to me. And he's showing me this because he has a special program. If you bring your kids in on Wednesdays, they get half off on these things, and he does that to show how much he has a heart for this. I'm gonna go spend money with Jim because
Yeah.
we believe in the same thing. So your story is everything. Also, I like to say one of the ways that businesses cannot get lost is by using your story as a compass. Your
Hmm.
story sometimes and most times will be your guide as to the direction of your business. It will tell people the pillars or why the parameters or boundaries that your business lives in. So as you tell your story, it'll be easy to see what decisions you should make that are positive to the brand versus what decisions are against the brand.
Hmm.
You shouldn't ever get lost in the pursuit of the money aspect because your story will tell you what's important to you. And so if you're in your story, um, affecting the criminal justice system is important and you're creating merch that reflects that, then you're going to be making decisions like maybe having some type of sponsorship that goes towards paying the legal fees for certain individuals who need that support or whatever the case may be. And so it makes it easier for you to know what direction you're going with your brand. And then you can come up with creative ways of connecting the dots. So yeah, storytelling is everything. And plus, how do people know who you are without them knowing your story?
Yeah, yeah. And then, like you said, in this day and age with the market so saturated, it's important, right?
Hmm.
There are some people who like, I just want to be faceless brand. I want a faceless brand.
Right,
And
right.
there's still power in that, but it's just the market is just getting more and more saturated. People are being more entrepreneurial these days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that. I believe the market has become saturated is because of trends. People see one thing win, and there's some people that hop on a trend to see how much they can benefit while it's hot.
Yeah.
So why I think that is a negative and a plus. It's a negative for those who are within those trend hoppers. If you're kind of looking for the next thing, you just got to get in hot when it's early, or else you kind of get the stragglers. But it's a positive for those who are authentic
Yeah.
because your authenticity separates you from the trenders.
Yeah.
Your authenticity says, I've been doing this before. I've been supporting Black women business owners before it was a popular thing. And you can see it. You can see the track record through my story. So while they just showed up last week, you can look a year ago, you can look a few months ago, you can look 3 years ago, you can look at the beginning of our business and see our track record. And so I think your story is how you stand out 100%. 100%.
Mhm. So there are a lot of people who privacy, right? So how
Hmm.
can a person share their story without oversharing or without um crossing their own personal boundaries of feeling like they're telling a business. You know what I mean?
Got you,
I feel like
got you,
that's
got you.
a fear that a lot of people have when it comes to storytelling, which is why they rather remain faceless.
Right, right, right. I think it's what makes that very easy is one, once you understand your story, then you create boundaries that your story slash brand lives within, right? And so if you understand your story and who it's for,
Yep.
you understand the value that you're bringing, the either the solution that you're giving to the problem, then the things that you post, that the things that you express should fall within the boundaries of that story. So yes, we all are human. We all have our emotions. We all go through different things throughout the day. But if your story isn't really you focused, right? Your story is something that is a product that's for adults in some other space, then why would we post, even though you have kids and you might have a stressful day and whatever the case may be, maybe posting about that stressful day with your kids on your business page
Mhm.
isn't really the best because it doesn't fit within the boundaries of your story,
Yeah.
right? And so your story, like I said, is a guide. It helps you understand where we're going. And if the things that you're looking to post don't fit within that, then that maybe should be something we reconsider. And then also, I think before you even get into the place of releasing things into the world, like for example, everybody has their place that they stay. Um, I think most people think it's pretty natural that when you get into your home that you lock the door, right? Granted, it is a welcoming place that you would bring people in as you're open to them, but there's things inside that are too valuable for you to share with everyone,
Yeah.
right? And so you should know what those core things are,
Yeah.
right? The things that the things that are for you, that are for your family, that are your information, that is outside of the business, that doesn't bring value to your audience, that doesn't bring value to the service or product that you're giving to people. If it doesn't fit there, then that's inside the house. Lock it up. That's only for those who that you invite into your house.
Yeah.
But when you are moving within the guidelines of your story, it's very clear on what you should share and what things you should kind of keep to your inner circle.
Yeah. 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 I love that. I love that a lot.
Hmm.
Because and that's a powerful way to think about it too. You know what I mean? You're not just inviting anybody in your house.
100%.
Your audience is not always, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not the thing, you know. So there's that thing in it that I feel like that connects with, like you said, knowing your why, knowing yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah, that's powerful. I like that. So we talked about previously how being transparent and kind and all of these things are important. So why do you feel like they're so important when it comes to being a business?
Hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start off with just like understanding the generation that we're in, right? So the generations before us, their mindsets was find a good job, and no matter what happens, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, you hold on to that job.
Yes.
And they will have, I'm talking about war stories, talking with the third, but their pride was in, I've been there 20 years, I've been there
Yeah.
30 years, I've been there 40 years. Fast forward, this generation, talk to me nicely, or else I'll find somewhere else to take my talents. And
Yeah.
shout out to LeBron. I think LeBron in this NBA space, I'm gonna go left and come right. I think one of the reasons he was so iconic is when he made one of that big decisions to the decision, right? Where he decided, I'm going to go to this team. That was one of the first times I think we've ever seen within that space a player tell the teams who I'm going to choose. Usually the teams just choose the players and disregard anything else.
Yeah.
So I take that same concept and I move it to now where we have so many skilled individuals who are self-aware, probably healing, going through therapy, going through this space where they realize I do not have to take negative energy if I don't, if it's not for me, it's not for me.
Yeah.
And I know these same talents that I'm giving to you, I can take them somewhere else. So I think this is the era where the mean bosses die. There is no space for mean bosses in this era. This is the era of transparency. This is the era of kindness. This is the era of honesty. Um, I think people relate to that. And I feel like we're in the era where people obviously still are working to get a paycheck, but
Mm-hmm.
they want to enjoy what they do. They want to have feel purpose for what they do. They want to be emotionally connected to the work. And it's hard to do that if you're in an environment that's stressful. It's hard to do
Yeah.
that if you're in an environment that is not pouring back into you just as much as you're
Yeah.
pouring into them. And so I think that's always been true. It's just being more intentional now in this era than it's ever been. So that would be my answer to that. That kindness, that transparency, that honesty is necessary because your workers in today and they're not playing with you. If it ain't rocking, they'll smile, they'll clock in. But believe you me, on their lunch break, they're on Indeed. They're looking for the other
Yeah.
job. They're
Already
looking
on
for
the
the
hunt. Okay.
already on the next set. And they are not afraid to leave and get something else.
Or speak up. I
Or speed
remember
up. Yeah.
people used to be afraid to speak up to their managers, and
Hmm.
they'd be afraid to stand up for themselves. They would allow themselves to be talked to any kind of way because this is their
Yeah.
leader, and that person has the power to fire them. Not
No
anymore.
more. No more. And
Well,
especially now
baby, you
where
a human just like I'm a human. So why you
right,
coming to me like that?
right. And I'll say this too. And I think it's a plus for this. We are in the era of the whistleblowers. Back in the day, they could treat you like that because nobody could really hear your voice. Your voice wasn't as loud. But now, say something that, you know what I mean, is a little crazy. And let me post you on this social and let the world hear what you had to say.
Listen, I recorded
And
it, or
let, let me let me tell your customers, the
yeah,
people that let me tell you how I'm treated. And let's see how you deal with that. Sometimes now being exposed is worse than just about anything else, just being exposed. So you better play nice. You better have a heart for the people that are working with you or under you. Because if not, it's only a matter of time. We gonna see.
true colors. What they say was done in the dark
Hey,
to the
we'll come
light.
to the light. Yep, 100%.
So
100%.
before we dive into the next question, can you define how would you define likability?
Ooh, likability. Well, I'm a biblical guy, right? So likability, I hear favor, right?
Okay.
Um, likability is the secret sauce. Likability is the reason why people want to work with you, even if you're expensive.
Hmm.
Likability is the reason why they'll choose you over somebody else that may even be more skilled than you.
Yes.
Likability is so important now that people would rather choose someone that they like to work with and build with that person than choose someone who they know is guaranteed to do the job, but they can't stand being in the room with more than 20 minutes.
Hmm.
I think likability also shows why being intentional about people is so important,
Hmm.
right? Yes, you can be an expert in your field, but if you do not know how to communicate, if you don't know how to be emotionally intelligent, right? Read the room. If you do not know how to be empathetic, then who cares? I think this is saying that says people don't care what you know until they know how much you care, right? And so I think likability is the cousin of that. Likability is the things that you do or the things that people see from you that say, I want to be around this person. Yeah, I know I hired them as a videographer, but I like the way they move. I like the way that they communicate. I like the way that they interact with their family from what I can see. I like the way that they handle their business. It's so much so that it the experience that I got from them, I now crave, right? And so I think likability is is your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Now let me say this now. Likability can get you in the door. Competency is gonna keep you there.
Hmm.
right? And so, on one hand, it's very important to be likable, and you want to have that, but you still want to make sure that you can do the work that you say you can do.
Yes.
Likability can save you for only so long before it's like, you know what, I
Yes.
love you so much, but you just can't.
Like
Yeah, it's nothing against
you can't
you.
even perform like you said you could.
It's
Like,
nothing personal. I love you, but you just can't do the job. You know what I mean?
what you
So
doing
you
here?
want to, right? And
You
so
charged your way in here.
likability and competency are those are that's like a marriage in heaven right there. Likability and competency. But likability is I think I won't say likability is everything, but right under everything is likability. You know what I'm saying? So it's super important, especially nowadays. People want to like the people they work with. They want to like the people they work around. And if I'm gonna be spending my money with you, I want to like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, right, how does likability bring about a long-term relationship as far as business goes, which you kind of explained already. But
Hmm.
the thing is, so for me, the way mine works, likability kind of flirts with that line of people pleasing, right? But for you to
Hmm.
still remain true to who you are, but still be likable,
Yeah.
what would you suggest a person do so they can still be likable, right? So they
Hmm.
can have those long term relationships, but they still need to be true to themselves, right? We're still
100%.
pushing authenticity.
Likability with boundaries. First, I think it starts with understanding you. Why do people like you? Right? Is it your energy?
Just kidding.
Right? Is it the smile? Is it the way that you communicate with them? Do they
Yeah,
like how you schedule things? Do they like how you follow up? Do they like that you're the type of client that doesn't only hit them when you want money? It doesn't always hit them when you have a special. You hit them on holidays. You remember their birthday, you hit them on the birthday. You remember the kid's birthday, you hit them on, you just check in maybe 2 weeks and like, hey, how you doing? No, I don't want anything. I just, just wanted to, are you that individual, right? And so, one, understanding why people like you. And then two, understanding your boundaries. What within business, what are you willing to do? And what things do you need to be able to do those things? And where are your deal breakers? I can do X, Y, and Z for you if paid for. Um, if you're working within these new business forms and whatnot, then you're probably creating a lot of free content that leads to paid, right? And so for those who are looking for just the ability to see that you know what you know, but that you're an expert in your field before they move with you, being able to create those things that they can take advantage of for free that doesn't infringe on the work that you need to get paid for, done for free, if that makes sense. Um, and so knowing your boundaries, knowing yourself, why you're liked, knowing your deal breakers and the spaces that you can work within, and then just standing on that, communicating that, having that in places that you can send them so it's very clear on where people can work. And sometimes that creates even more likability, right? There's some, I'll give an example. There's some, you'll run into some creatives within the videography and photography space, and someone run into them and say, hey, well, what kind of photography do you do? And one person may say, well, I do everything. And on one hand, they may think that that sounds amazing. You do everything. But this person's looking for a wedding videographer,
specific.
right? And so when you say everything, they're like, I don't hear wedding. Okay, I'm gonna go to the wedding videographer.
Yeah.
I want someone who specializes in this space. So being able to own what you do and make it very clear and then give it out, I think makes it easy for you to stand on your boundaries. Because
Yeah.
I told you I'm not a uh, uh, I don't know, magazine cover photographer.
Yeah.
So when you came here and you pay for this wedding videographer. So we're gonna talk about the things that I already showed you
Yeah.
that I do, and nothing outside of that. So I think, yeah, one, knowing yourself enough to know why you're like, knowing your deal breakers and the boundaries within your business, and then communicating that up front, and then standing on it. Stand on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And also on the flip hand, that works too, right? Knowing, like, say, like, me and you, we both, we wear, I like to say, mini crowns instead of
Right.
we wear many crowns, right? So, um, even in that moment, right, with likability, people don't want to be confused.
At
Someone mentioned
all.
that somewhere in the comment section. People don't want to be confused. They want to understand. If you say everything, they're like, well, how can she master weddings if she
Right.
does everything? You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Because baby, I took this concept from this photo shoot and I applied it, but whatever. We're gonna talk about that later on. But I've learned because I know who I am, right? And I'm listening to what this person needs. I present to them what I can do, but for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
When the mixer we met at, there were so many people there, you know?
Mhm. It was lit.
Um, and so there was someone who was interested in modeling. There was someone who was interested in elevating their business. They already had a marketing team, but also they needed an extra level up, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I presented myself to them um as a commercial branding agent, right, to help them rebuild their brand so they can get the views. And then look, your marketing team can still do it. We just need to get that foundation, right?
Right.
To the next person, I was who they needed me to be, but of course, again, still in my skill set. You know what I mean? So like you said, knowing yourself, knowing your boundaries, knowing what you can and cannot do, but also knowing how to communicate that
Yeah.
to others
100%.
because
Yeah.
saying everything that throws people off.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll throw that in there too. Knowing how to communicate that to your audience. For some people, that doesn't come naturally. Let's just be
Yeah,
real. For some people, that space of just spitting it out there, or as some, if you're from California, y'all know the phrase "gift the gab." Not that doesn't just come for everyone.
yeah,
However, it is a skill, and all skills can be developed.
exactly.
So do the work. Granted, I know it could be uncomfortable, but for those who are, if you've already stepped out, if you already stepped out past 80% of the people who have an idea and you took your idea and took action, you're already moving forward in that space, and you have experience with the uncomfortability, and you know that growth happens in uncomfortable spaces.
Yes.
So maybe you hop on YouTube University and start taking some communication classes, work on your personality, work on your elevator pitches, work on your rebuttals, work on understanding the usual no's that you get rebuttals, but being able to turn those no's into yes, or showing the positive sides. And so do the work to elevate the areas that you can improve on. So now it's very hard for someone not to see you. All
Yeah.
these things that you're doing is so that people see you the way you need to be seen, so they know why they're spending money with you or why they're using your service. Or even if they're not going to use it, they now know what you do and who you are enough to where when they run into somebody who tells them something, oh,
Yeah.
I just ran into Callie,
Yeah.
and you don't need it. And so you want to be clear on who you are and what you do, and work on being able to make that clear to others so that it's easy for people to find.
Yeah. I mean, in a good way to even practice, even if you use YouTube University and then you go out in the world and practice mixers,
Yeah,
business
get out
mixers
there.
are because there's a lot of people there fumbling around. They don't know either.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't know what is it called? Describe your business in one word. Describe your business in
Yeah.
five words. They don't know that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're all out here learning and growing and elevating, and that's how you do it. You put yourself in the position to where you can, be there. You know what I mean?
100%.
You want to make
100%.
sure that you have that practice, like you said. You get out there, you learn, you get some experience, and that works.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just
The, yeah. The one that's outside
it's a
talking to
building
people
skill.
is always going to be more than the one. Granted, you may have an individual who is super good at what they do. They are in the lab creating, building, and they might be the best person to give this service, but they ain't talk to nobody.
Yeah,
And sometimes, as a business owner, there's some business owners can get this false entitlement and that says because I'm very skilled at this thing, people should come to me. Um, Sir or ma'am, they don't owe you nothing. And there's probably 10 other people who are not as good as you, but they're outside talking to people. Those people outside talking to people are going to get way more business than you
yeah,
because you're just sitting there waiting. People don't even know you're there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like you said, that's a powerful thing. And it gets you out of your comfort zone. It gets you, like you said, that discomfort is gonna grow you, right?
Hmm.
And it just opens you up. And like you said, people, they don't know who you are unless they know who you are. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that that's powerful. And then so as far as visually going, um, how would you suggest, like, what are some easy things, right? We did talk a little bit in the beginning about utilizing Canva. I mean, not Canva, sorry. My mind is, I'm always on Canva.
Hey, I'm a
Chat
Canva user
GPT.
too. Yep.
Uh, we talked a little about Chat GPT. We talked a little bit about everyone's not a videographer, right? What are
Hmm.
some like simple tools that people can use to tell their story?
Okay. Okay. One thing that I would love every business owner to do, if they could ask one practice one, I would say if you have a cell phone, and you have a way to prop it up, record yourself talking about your business. And then play after you record yourself, play it back. And then ask yourself, would I buy from me? Would I work with me? And if the answer isn't immediately yes, what in my speech do I need to adjust to turn it to a yes? And in that practice, not only are you one getting better at recording yourself
Mm,
and speaking to the camera, but two, you're getting better at communicating for yourself.
mhm.
And that practice is going to win on both sides because one, the more you do it, the more comfortable, and maybe you'll find a lane to where you're like, hey, I kind of like this. And now you can start creating little snippets or little videos that either explain a part of yourself that relates to your business, or explains a part of your business, or educates them on a part of your business, or why you do what you do. Or it just now creates an opportunity for your audience to see you more and create that relatability. Um, I would say also some practical tools that make it very easy, and a lot of them are free. Um, Canva. We already talked about that. Canva literally is your, I mean, it's a canvas, blank canvas for you to create all the things that you need. But Canva is really user friendly to the
Yeah.
point where they know who's coming to, that's a great brand to look at. They know who's coming to Canva. So you don't have to know what the dimensions for Instagram are. They know what it is. You just need
Exactly.
to let them know that you want to create an Instagram post and they'll give you
Exactly.
the right dimensions. And then you can literally go in there and most of these programs that I'm gonna show up that I'm gonna talk about, they have their own education within them.
That's awesome.
So go to Canva to create your posts. And if you just so happen to buy the premium account, which usually Canva, if you hop on there for the first time, they're gonna give you 30 days for free because they know how good they are. They now have incorporated AI to where you can explain to Canva what you're trying to do, and it will start the post for you. Um, Another one is CapCut. So I recently was asked this today. Hey, what's an easy editing app that I can use for pictures and video? So CapCut is one that's popular, very easy. It's, you can grab it for free, and there's other things you can pay for inside the app. But it's something that you can use on your phone. That as soon as you took a picture or video and you want to create a little recap or whatever, you go to CapCut, put it in there, and then you can either use templates where they're already kind of put together, and you just add the content in and just make a few adjustments. Or if you really want to get in there, you know what I'm saying, and get your hands dirty, you can literally play around with it on your
Yeah.
phone and create your own masterpieces. Um, what's another good one? I'm gonna kind of keep these to more phone based, um, kind of easy to use. Yeah, it really depends on your industry. So we said Canva, we said CapCut. I'm gonna throw in there ChatGPT. I'm gonna use ChatGPT, however, AI in general. And I'm not gonna get into a deep dive, but just think of
Yeah.
AI as the personal assistant you do not have to pay.
Exactly.
The personal assistant that is up whenever you're up, the personal assistant who's always inspired, the personal assistant that is ready. And so instead of thinking of AI or ChatGPT as a tool that just, I need posts, make posts for me, use ChatGPT to think through things. Hey, I'm trying to have content for the next 30 days for my business. This is what I do. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm uncomfortable with. These are some of the things I want my audience to know. Help me come up with a plan that works within my comfortability, but also hits the goal so I can accomplish this campaign for the next 30 days. If anybody were to just take that snippet out of this video, adjust it to fit your personal specific things for your business, you will be surprised the answer that you get back from ChatGPT.
Mhm.
You'll be surprised. And literally, not only will you get an answer that kind of encompasses your thoughts, but most of the time it gives you a day by day, week by week,
Yeah.
say month by month plan that you can follow step by step. And so I think between Canva, between CapCut, um, and I'll throw another one in there. So for those who are heavy on Instagram, Instagram created their own editing system called Edits.
Yep.
I think if you're going to be doing a lot of posting on Instagram, it's best to use their own tools because they're never going to treat an external app better than their own internal app. And something that they don't tell you, or they do tell you, but most people miss, when you use Edits, it is very good at keeping the quality of your content intact as you upload it to Instagram. I won't get lost in it, but in other spaces, when you upload it to Instagram, it almost converts your media in a
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
Um, and so when it converts it, there'll be times where you're like, man, I'm looking on my phone, it looks so clear. When I posted it, why is it so choppy? Why it doesn't look as clear on there? Well, Instagram put it through its own processors to be able to make it fit on the platform. So to stop that, it created its own editing system that if you use it, it will keep the quality of your content when you post it. So yeah, Edits, CapCut are going to be great tools for editing video or pictures. Canva is a great tool for overall content creation. Um, ChatGPT is going to help you think through it, and then lastly, get you a Google Drive or WeTransfer account. You're going to need somewhere to store your content that's not just on your phone or on your computer. You're going to need
Yeah.
somewhere to organize your stuff and have chronological order and things of that nature, so you can always go back, access your things, or if you get into that flow where now you're creating multiple pieces of content in a day that can last you for a month, 2 months, or a quarter, now you can put everything and have it organized in Google Drive and just go day by day. Wow. So I'll stop there. Those would be some of the starter kit tools that I would give a business owner who's just trying to get their content creation engine running.
Yes. Those are awesome tools that I still use. I started there and I still use them to this day, baby.
Yeah,
Uh,
loyalty.
and I'm glad you mentioned the thing about edits because I'm telling y'all, I do a lot of voiceover videos on TikTok, and sometimes when I upload them into YouTube, and they don't even have the TikTok logo, but once I upload them into Instagram, it's off. Okay, it's
Mm,
delayed. It's like, did she even understand the assignment? You know? I'd
right,
be like, go watch it on TikTok. It's good over there.
right, 100%. But
But
that's how they do. That's how they
yes,
do.
the beautiful thing about all of those is they are user friendly. They do have templates. And I think people get so caught up in like with ChatGPT, what prompted you use? What prompted you use? I just talk to the damn thing.
Just
I'm just
talk
saying.
to it. Just talk to it.
Amen.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You ain't got to be no, let's say, prompt engineer or context engineer. You just got to be clear. You have to know enough of what you want to articulate it.
Yep.
And if you can articulate it, ChatGPT can walk you through it.
Yep.
Believe you me.
Yep. Yep.
Again, shout out to Big Mom. I love you. That's what I call my ChatGPT.
I know. And now I have an after hours question for you, but I'm gonna save that for the after hours.
Ooh, they cutting up in there. I got it to the side. I ain't really look. It looked like they going crazy in the
Oh no,
comments.
I'm saying no, I
Oh,
based off you talking about that, and it's funny because honestly, I can say this because we towards the end of the interview. I was thinking about doing an AI episode for us to talk about on the after hours show, so that's gonna have to happen real soon.
hey, yeah, that would be a great topic for the after hours for sure. Cause me and my AI,
So
we
I'm
be
gonna
popping.
save that question for that episode. Um,
Facts.
so before we close out, and dive into what's next for the channel, what is next for you in your brand?
Um, I'm gonna kind of, we connected, we locked in, so I get a chance to really be inspired by a lot of the things that you put out there, and I think one of the things that you talked about this year is expanding territory. You know what I'm saying? How you do expand,
Expand. I
expand.
still need to get you that book. I'm gonna write that down.
And so I think for me, it's embracing the expansion of territory.
Mhm.
I I'm one that is not uh I'm one that understands self-sabotage. I'm one that understands feeling unworthy. I'm one that understands being afraid of success.
Mhm.
But I'm also one that has worked through, you know what I'm saying, and worked through and did the work to get to a place of like, no, I'm in these rooms because I'm supposed to be here.
Mhm.
I'm talking to these people and I'm having these connections and I'm supposed to be. And so embracing the expansion, and that expansion looks like taking on more bigger projects, working with bigger brands, also being intentional about fully locking into the brands that I'm already a part of and the ones that we've created and really just pushing through. For those who are in Sacramento, California, you may have gotten a chance to experience our second annual plant celebration of Color the Block. That was this Saturday. And when I tell you it was an amazing turnout, we had loads of people in the community playing in the garden. And I think when we talk about some of the things that are affect, it is Black History Month. So I'm going to say our people. We talk about health and our diets and things like that. A lot of times it's because we're not creating the things that we're ingesting. We're not creating the things that we're consuming. So just being in more creating and facilitating and helping more opportunities and experiences for our people to get access to the things that are healthy for them, things that not only, of course, working within the soil, but community resources.
Mhm.
So yeah, just doing more, embracing the expansion, but also giving more of myself. Yeah, giving more. Yeah, expansion. But yeah, giving more. Um, yeah, just fearless. Yeah, fearlessness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
courage, courageous,
courage. One of my
yes,
favorites. Courage.
courage,
Yeah,
courage,
yeah, yeah.
have some courage.
hmm
Uh,
Oh. I will say this too. I'm not gonna give y'all a date for Afro Vibes and Wine Sacramento. It's coming. Right. I had to locate the camera. 'Cause you know how sometimes you be looking at the screen, but the
I
camera
know.
comes in.
I'll be looking over at you
Yeah, it's not for the camera. But
wherever you are. I don't know. No
Afro
date
Vibes and
yet,
Wine.
but
Afro Vibes and Wine, Afro Vibes and Wine, Afro Vibes and Wine, Sacramento. Afro Vibes and Wine is a cultural celebration that started May in 2023 in Charlotte, North Carolina. And since then, we've taken it to LA, we've taken it to Oakland. My brother has taken it over to Africa and brought it on back. And so now we're working on bringing it here to Sacramento. When you think Afro Vibes and Wine, think amazing music, think amazing vendors, think, of course, wine, think family friendly fun. I mean, your aunties, the grandma, grandpa, everybody can come on out, even the newborn. Think fun for us, by us, but welcoming to all. For us, by us, but open to all. Yeah. So Afro Vibes and Wine Sacramento is on its way. You'll see more details as they come. But yeah, let's just prepare yourself to having a great experience that you'll be leaving with a lot of core memories for sure. So yeah, Afro Vibes and Wine Sacramento, look out for it.
sounds awesome. Now we cannot dive into what's next for the Carla Network without asking about who's that little dude? Who's that little dude?
Oh, who Steve? Steve. So, what I'm saying, when you get it, I think it's kind of cool, like when you get a chance to be on these interviews to kind of be intentional about your background. And so, I am a super dad, as my kids would say. So I just want to kind of put elements in there that remind me of them. So Steve, he's been a part of our family since September of last year. My son is really into Minecraft and he is blessed to have a tribe. You know what Kanye said, so many aunties, you can make an auntie team. And so once we found out what the interest was, the aunties got to work and they built him a life-size version of Steve, the Minecraft guy. It was so dope that Steve has stayed. If you guys would have been, could Yeah, if we would have had this interview maybe a few days ago, you would have saw Steve in a Santa outfit. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? He had, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, so Steve is rocking in there, but he also represents my son. When I look at him, I think of my kids and things of that nature. So shout out to Steve. And he has like a crown on his head too.
I see
That
that.
yeah. Technically that was the
All right,
crown that my
Crown
son,
King.
yeah, my son, his name is Majesty. So every birthday he gets the crown.
That's
Yeah, so,
awesome.
yeah, shout out to Steve.
I love it. We couldn't close out without not
Come
mentioning
on,
Steve.
he was a part of the interview. You see him, my hype
He
man.
was in there cheering you on, huh? Ooh. All right. So you guys, what's next for the Car Love Network? Y'all know every Friday we have our Car Love Talk Show after hours. It's kind of panel style. We throw out a topic and we all just kind of chime in on it. It's a bunch of minds that I have been drawn to through individual conversations and just even as we've grown on the show, it's just been cool to hear everyone's opinion in one setting. Um, so it's cool. So that is every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have a couple of other series here on the network. We have our Beautifully Imbalanced talk show, podcast, which is where I share a lot about healing from trauma, boundaries, setting boundaries, grieving, things like that, healthy coping skills, stuff like that. So that is Beautifully Imbalanced. And then we have our newest series, which is the
I'm looking at the comments. Hey,
uh,
John and Ray are
all the
funny.
comments. Yeah. Our newest series is the mini series where I speak about moving through fear and walking, letting it feel you so that you can conquer the things that have been keeping you. For me, it was not driving. And so you kind of go on the experience with me. So I am super excited to share that journey with you guys. So that's what we're doing here on the Car Love Network. Now we can dive into our affirmations and close out. So
Ooh. You want me to go? Of course, of course.
sure.
So being that this is I'm right, of course. Being that this is I'm new to the interview space, I'm gonna bring back the affirmations I do with my babies. Um and so if Mad Jamar was here, I say what's my starting five? And the starting five is I am love, I am great, God is always with me, I'm a winner, and every day is my day.
Yes,
So, yeah,
yes.
that's my starting five.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, my loves, thank you so much for watching the Carter Love Talk Show. Before we close out, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you're notified every time we post a video. As always, remember that you are worthy, 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 worthy always. You are worthy of being seen. You're worthy of being heard. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your brand matters. You are worthy of finding the tools to help you to share that story. You are worthy of being honest with yourself and of all the benefits that come from that authenticity. Most importantly, you're worthy of unconditional self care and unconditional self love. Until
Come
next
on.
time, my loves. Bye bye.
Deuces.